Hi guys, and welcome back to Chip's Green World. And this week we're back in the courtyard, and let's have a recap of what we've done so far. Last week we put the obelisks in with the fig trees that we're going to be training up them, and then we planted the 3 lavenders around the base of them. We've got the font in place, we've got the olive tree in place. We planted the 2 boxes we rescued from the front garden and snipped them into cubes. We brought in the majority of the potted plants from the old courtyard, and today we'll be bringing in some more to finish the left hand side off. And also we've got a special little treat for Spud to help her get onto the font, as now she's an old lady she could probably do with a stair lift, but a step is going to have to do her. This is the left hand side we're going to be tackling after we do this for Spud. So this is the piece of stone that I bought from a reclamation yard. It only cost me £10, and I think it'll make the perfect step up to the font for Spud. I'm unsure which way around I should go with it. I think this is the way it probably should go, and it probably had something sat on top of it, but there's nothing stopping me turning it on its back and having it this way. It's a possibility. It could get in the way of the plants. I'm not sure she needs this much room on top of the step. She might sleep on it if it was this way around. I think the other way. Yes, I think we're going to go the other way. We'll move some of the pebbles, sink it down a bit, get it so it's halfway up the font, and we may even plant a few ground covering plants around it at the bottom. Right, so let's do this. Right, now to put it in place. Wow, that's a heavy little lump. Try and get it as close to the font as we can. I think that looks quite good. Right, so let's try and get it level. And hopefully over time, as the rain bounces off the font, it will bounce particles of moss onto the stone, and this piece of stone should mirror the look of the font within a couple of years. And there's a little tip for you. If you want something to be covered in moss and go green and look aged, put whatever it is next to something with moss all over it, and the particles will bounce onto the stone every time it rains, and before you know it, 6 months to 12 months time, you'll have moss growing all over it. And if you want to speed this process up, you could always mix a diced up bit of moss in with a bit of yogurt, then with a little brush just paste it onto the stone. Let it dry and keep watering. I would suggest plain yogurt. And there we go, all done. Now we just got to get a bit of moss to grow on it to make it fit in. I'm sure that won't take long. I'll have to keep watering it, and I'll let you know later on whether she's used it or not. Right, now on to the main part of the day, and this is the left hand side of the courtyard. There's only so much I can do with this side, as this is where the gate is, also the most shadiest part of the courtyard. but I'm sure we can do a much better job than how it looks right now. So let's get on. First we have the twisted hazel. This was in the old courtyard and was on the north side of the courtyard, so this did like it there. This should be fine here. I've had this twisted hazel 25 years. I've repotted it once and I give it a quick prune before I put it in place. So fingers crossed it'll like its new home. Just move some of the honeysuckle branches out of the way. This had a good prune in spring and it's come back beautifully. It was mostly on the neighbour's side of the fence, so I've cut all that away completely, and now we have flowers on this side, as where they should be. Now to bring in the last tall pot with the last box ball in. This is my oldest box ball. This has been in a pot for 20 years, and before I put it in place, it needs a trim. So let's do that. These are the replacement sheep shears I got on eBay second hand to replace my old ones where the spring had gone. They're working well, but they're not working as good on this box ball, as this box ball is not as dense as the rest of mine, so I'm reverting back to using hand shears. And there we go, all done. Right, let's put him in place and then we can move on to the newly potted Brunnera that I did eventually get round to repotting after Gypsy Boy smashed the pot. Talking about Gypsy Boys, we could do with a bit of clean up here. Gypsy Boy, clean up on aisle 3. Right, I think that'll do for now. We brought in the bunnera, we brought in some hellebores, some ferns, and now it gives me a good idea of what I should be shopping for next time I go to the garden centre. Something a bit lighter to go in that corner under the twisted hazel. So I'll keep my eye out and I'll let you know how that goes. So there we go, folks. The first stage of the courtyard is complete. So that's the whole back shady part now complete and looking spectacular. I'm over the moon. And as the majority of the plants and pots came with me from the old courtyard, this has not cost much at all. The obelisks were 300, the pots 60, Spud's new step, which you'll be happy to hear she did use, that cost a tenner. So all in all, a fantastic result. Now we just got to move on to the south side of the courtyard, which will be where we're putting the decking, the stone steps. We'll be bringing the bay trees in, but that won't be for a while, because now we're going to move on into the front garden again and maybe start work on the top level. We've still got to get the box hedge planted and they put the path in at the bottom level, so that will be happening next week probably, and then we'll come back to the courtyard at a later date. So that's it for this week's vlog, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you'll join me next week. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye now.